Hi everyone, my name is Laurie and welcome to another edition of DR Boxing Weekly. DR Boxing Weekly is a regular show where myself and guests will go through and discuss all the relevant topics taking place in the boxing world. Now, without any further ado, let me introduce my panel of star-studded guests. To my far left, Shane in the house. What are you saying, bro?
What's up, man?
To my immediate left, Nick, the voice of reason in the house. What are you saying?
Well gone. Shane don't want to clap for me, but that's cool.
And to my right, this week I think he's going as Teofimo Lopez simp.
Yeah.
James in house.
No applause.
Thank you very much for having me, mate. It's going to be a good show.
It is going to be a very good show.
In your Conor McGregor t-shirt, bro.
Yeah,
get
damn
out
right.
of
The
it,
triple
man.
champ is here, mate.
Get out
I
of
hope
it,
Dana
man.
White's giving you some money for that advertising.
Yeah, he should be. He should be giving me some free proper number 12.
Okay, let's get it. This weekend, one of the most anticipated fights of the year takes place over in New York City, Madison Square Garden, the so-called Mecca of boxing. Scotland's Josh Taylor takes on American Teofimo Lopez for the WBO Light Welterweight Championship of the World. Now, before I bring in my panel, some quick receipts on the two fighters. Let's start with Josh Taylor from Scotland, near Edinburgh, Preston Pans, I think it's called. That's where he's from. Nicknamed the Tartan Tornado, 30 years old, former outstanding amateur, Commonwealth Games gold medalist, 2012 GB Olympic representatives, 5'10", 69.5-inch reach, southpaw, professional record of 19 fights, 19 wins, 13 KOs. So it's an unblemished record, although some people might dispute that if you watch the Jack Catterall fight, if you know what I mean. But he's also the former undisputed light welterweight championship of the world. So this guy's serious. He's got some excellent wins on his record. Jose Ramirez, Regis Prograis, Ivan Baranchik, Victor Postal, O'Hara Davis. He's beaten all those guys and beaten them well. Right, let's talk about Teofimo Lopez. From America, born in Brooklyn, New York, later moved to Florida. Nicknamed the Takeover, 25 years old. Also a former very good amateur. I think he had something like 150 amateur fights, 130 wins. Former USA national amateur champion, represented Honduras at the 2016 Olympic Games. He's 5'8", 68.5-inch reach, orthodox stance, although he can switch it. Professional record of 19 fights, 18 wins, 13 KOs, just one loss, that was to George Kambosos. He's beaten the likes of Richard Comey, knocked out in 2 rounds, and he beat Vasily Lomachenko, and he's beaten, is it Maesaki Nakatani?
Yeah.
So there's some good wins there. So I've set the scene. Let's start with our more in-depth stuff. To my left there, Shane, he can't wait to get stuck in. What's your thoughts on this fight?
The funniest thing is you said one of the most anticipated fights of the year. I mean, it's a very, very...
You're not going to tell me you're not looking after this fight?
No, I'm looking forward to the fight.
Okay,
I'm definitely looking forward to the fight. I mean, before the year began, you would have thought both of them coming off really... I mean, Teofimo Lopez had a tough fight against Kambosos and then looked even worse in the fight against Sandor Martin, his first fight at 140 pounds. You would have thought him moving up to the weight class, you would have saw a little bit more.
Didn't he have a fight before the Sandor Martin?
Pedro Campa.
Was that at 140?
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, the Sandor Martin.
But the Sandor Martin fight was his, we saw Sandor Martin beat Mikey Garcia, so Sandor Martin was his proper...
Sandor Martin from Spain, by the way.
Yeah,
Decent
he was his proper introduction into the weight class, and he didn't look good in that fight neither.
He got dropped in that fight.
Indeed. So, obviously, with Josh Taylor struggling with Jack Catterall and some people feeling like he lost, both fighters wasn't really coming into the year with great momentum. However, the trash talk has really got me into it, and I really am interested into the fight. Like, as we get closer and closer, I am... my enthusiasm for that fight has increased. However, I do lean towards Josh Taylor. Like, I have many reasons for why I lean towards Josh Taylor. But
all right, hold it there. So you're leaning towards Josh Taylor.
Yeah.
Let's bring in the voice of reason, Nick Francis.
I think
your thoughts on the fight.
It's got to be Josh Taylor. I mean, there's so many narratives around this fight. Like you said, both guys are coming off controversial kind of performances. In one way, both their stock...
Sorry to interrupt. Save your predictions for now. I just want to get some insights into the fight.
What's interesting about both these guys is both of their stock has dropped in boxing, but for two different reasons. You know, with Josh Taylor, his stock has dropped because of a win, and Teo's a very dubious win, and Teo's stock has dropped because of outside ring antics, I guess, and obviously since the George Kambosos loss, he's tried to rebuild his stock up, and the performances haven't been great. And even the style of boxing, trying to take that style in against Josh Taylor, with Sandor Martin very aggressive, jumping in, not, he's a very talented boxer. He didn't box. He kind of went in there and had a fight.
Face first.
And that's not really what you want to do with somebody. Not only is Josh Taylor an outstanding boxer, but he has the size and strength advantage, which normally Teofimo Lopez relies on against some of his opponents. So, only going one way, but I won't say where. Even though it's obvious.
Interesting.
One way down.
I know where this guy's going.
I think everyone. No, I'm not a Teofimo simp. I'm just a man. As you say, the voice of reason. I'm a man of logic. And when I look at these, the
voice of reason's here.
Well, the fist of reason is held by Teofimo Lopez, and I'll tell you that for a fact. And as you said, you're starting to feel excited about this. You said it was a very heavily anticipated fight. That is because every Teofimo Lopez fight is a heavily anticipated fight. You touched on the fact that you think that outside of the ring antics has caused his stock to drop. I completely disagree. I think the outside of the ring antics is what has made this fight so exciting. As you said, the trash talk, Teofimo Lopez. You know what? Sometimes some of his stuff, I don't agree with all of it. He goes over the line. Sometimes he crosses it, but boy, does he make it exciting. I'm a bit of an agent of chaos. I like a heel.
We can tell. You're
like
wearing a Conor McGregor
a bit of trash
t-shirt.
talk. You're damn right. Exactly. I need someone to get me invested, someone to make it entertaining. I like the whole show. Funnily enough, it's actually a really well-matched from a physical standpoint fight. You're looking at one guy, Josh Taylor, 69.5-inch reach, 68.5-inch for Teofimo Lopez. Only 2 foot difference in it. Physically, they're matched very, very well. As you said, both people coming off a time in their career where there's a lot of doubt surrounding them. But I think Teofimo Lopez, for me, he's shown he can do it at the top level before. I know we were talking before off air and you were questioning his mental fortitude, whether he can sustain at the top. I think there's been a lot of out of the ring issues that have seriously affected him. Like I said, that marital thing was huge,
but
man.
It's still
that was
there.
Very, very big. But it's still there. But the best way to put doubt behind that, the best way to, or rather to get that out of your system is to perform in the ring, is to do the unthinkable, is to start getting back on track. And I think personally his quality is a little bit too high.
No, he's definitely got qualities. Despite what we said about him, last week we spoke about him making that ridiculous comment about wanting to take someone's life. Yeah. Incidentally, he's doubled down on that again this week, in the week leading up to the fight. The guy's clearly got something wrong with it. I think it could even be early signs of CTE. That's my own personal opinion. Yeah. But hey, I digress.
I think it's just the bell end.
I actually genuinely feel like we've always seen these mental fragilities in Teofimo Lopez.
Yeah, that's
I think we've always seen it. I just feel like now
he's
at the forefront, and this guy got to the top probably before he mentally matured, and we're now starting to see the unravelment of his mind. He's I don't even know.
Punches in the head can cause that, but that's a subject for a whole nother show. Right, I just made a little list prior to the show of some strengths and weaknesses of both fighters. I thought it might be good if I just go through what I see as the strengths and weaknesses, and then we can debate off that. So starting with Josh Taylor, I said good size and dimensions for a 140-pounder. He's very tall at the weight, tall and rangy, very tough guy, very aggressive, especially for a tall fighter. In fact, sometimes I think he gives up his height because he's naturally aggressive. He wants to get inside and get to work. He's got a good chin, good body puncher, and he's got an excellent uppercut inside that he throws. And against the shorter Lopez, I think that could work well. If you notice, he used that punch to very good effect against Ramirez and Regis Prograis. Josh Taylor's weaknesses or areas where his game is not so strong. I don't think he's the best defensively. He can get hit. Mm-hmm. Again, he gives up his height sometimes and elects to fight when he could keep them at range more. He's got a decent jab when he chooses to use it, but a lot of the time he uses it as a rangefinder, a flicker to try and get inside. So, as I said, he can get drawn into unnecessary wars and he gives up his height too easily, in my opinion. Teofimo Lopez, I would say outstanding athleticism. If you've ever seen this guy in the gym, some of the things he does is remarkable. He can do all the gymnastics, the somersaults, see him on the speedball, skipping, amazing talent.
Celebration.
Yeah. And not anyone can do that, trust me. It's that next level athleticism to do that. And that can work well for you in a boxing ring because that makes him potentially unpredictable. He can punch at different angles and do different things. Good power, good footwork. Again, good box puncher. Teofimo's weaknesses, we've already said, very fragile mentality. And adding to that, I've got to mention it, I think his dad as a coach is appalling. Rubbish corner work.
Definitely.
You saw the last fight with his dad. terrible. So in a way, it's testimony to how good he is, that he's got this far in spite of his dad, not because of it, in my opinion. One thing I would say about Tia, I watched quite a few of his fights. He doesn't really make a whole lot of adjustments. Tends to fight the same, doesn't really vary his tactics in fight. And again, to me, he relies too much on his athleticism. Right, your thoughts on the fight in terms of prediction? We're coming around to predictions now. What do you see as the key markers?
Well, it's a relatively easy fight for me to call. The reason why I say that is because when I look at the ingredients, and I genuinely feel like Teofimo Lopez, when it gets tough, we're going to see him fold. Like, I can break down the technical.
No, but he didn't, to be fair, he didn't fold against Lomachenko when he got tough.
Okay, but this is the thing.
He won that fight.
No, but this is the thing. I actually feel like when you look at the Lomachenko fight, Lomachenko gave up the first 6 rounds. He gave up the first 6 rounds. As soon as Lomachenko flicked that switch and he actually competed at the high level, he won every round.
No, I've got to disagree with you now. On the 12th round, which was pivotal in that fight,
he did come back.
Teofimo came back and won that round.
Yeah,
Quite big
Lomachenko has a bit of a track record of giving up that 12th round there.
But if you look at him against Nakatani, when it got tough, he almost like cruised his way through the back end of that fight. The Sandor Martin fight, I thought he was horrible. He even questioned himself and said, "Do I still have it?"
He did.
He questioned
At the
himself.
end of that fight, you can see him leant back on the ropes.
And then the Kambosos fight, he literally came in there with no boxing IQ, face first, and got knocked down in the first round. We know Josh Taylor has the ability to catch fighters on the way in. He done it 3 times with Ramirez. He dropped him 3 times in that fight. Teofimo Lopez moving up a weight class. He can't be so reckless. And I just don't think he's got the boxing IQ to stand with Josh Taylor, unless Josh Taylor is like literally aged overnight and he's not the fighter he used to be.
Nick?
Yeah, I think his dad is taking him as far as he can possibly take him. I think that if he is going to try and get back to that elite level, he needs to change coach, and I don't think that's going to happen. I think
he said he'll always stay with his dad.
Yeah, I think the mental fragility as well. He needs someone. His dad's like a bit of a comfort blanket, and so to go from where he's at now, where he's struggling, and go into something, I just don't think he's ready for those types of deep waters to go and be a real. Not that he doesn't work hard in the gym, but he works hard. You know, when you go to the gym and you work on the part of your body that you're most comfortable working. Do you know what I mean? And so he works in the things that he's strong at, and we haven't really seen him come back. If he starts losing a fight, he typically loses that fight. And I think that against someone that is bigger, stronger, hits harder.
To be fair, he's only lost 1 as a pro.
Yeah. He could have lost 2. He could have lost. He could have lost that Sandor Martin fight.
So for me, I think if Josh Taylor goes in there and puts it on him early, I don't think that he'll have the testicular.
The hits harder is debatable, no? I'd say Teofimo Lopez has a better chance of knocking him out personally.
You think Lopez hits harder than Josh Taylor?
Yeah, I do actually.
I don't
think so.
I don't
think so.
Okay, all right.
Well,
let me put it like, have you ever
debating
seen Josh Taylor like smoke a guy with 1 punch, like knock him out cold? I've seen Teofimo do that a few times. Go watch the Richard Comey fight. Go watch the. There's another fight he had. I think the guy's got a French-sounding surname. Smoked him, 1 shot, bang, out, headshot dead.
But
you know what I mean?
But
I've never seen Josh Taylor do that.
You also got to match punch power with punch resilience. I've seen Teofimo get dropped by a feather-fisted.
No, that's a different.
Yeah,
no, but wait. You're saying who's more
Sorry.
likely to get knocked out?
No,
he
we
said
said
he has more power.
Who hits harder?
Who hits harder?
I still might edge Josh Taylor.
It's debatable. It's debatable. I think it's debatable.
I think 1 punch power, headshot dead.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they both
Definitely
literally have a 68.4%
No, but that's
knockout rate.
with respect, that's a different argument.
I know. I'm saying they both have
Josh
the same
Taylor
knockout
tends
rate,
to
so it
wear
is
guys
close.
down.
But I think Teofimo Lopez has a better chance of knocking him out.
Josh Taylor's power is cumulative.
He just said it. He thinks Teofimo Lopez has more chance to knock out.
Yeah, but that's a different story. That's something else I'm bringing into it.
What I'm saying is, in terms of 1 punch power, I think Lopez hits harder. But in terms of...
I'm not sure.
I'm
still not
I
sure.
think it's close.
I've heard what you said, but
I think it's
still not
close,
sure.
but I agree with you that I think Teofimo Lopez
And then
holds some
even
more
if
power.
we concede that, I still think that Josh Taylor stands a better chance in the overall fight of knocking Teofimo Lopez out.
He didn't look like he hit hard against Sandor Martin. Sandor Martin literally just stood, didn't look like getting knocked out once.
Menard, that's the name of the guy that he smoked.
And
go and look at that fight on YouTube, Menard. Jason Menard.
Does he have that punch power at 140? Who has he knocked out at 140?
That's a good point. That's a good point. And talking of 140, though, Josh Taylor, I mean, we've seen him when he fought Jack Catterall, man. He looked emaciated trying to make that weight. And that was a couple of years ago, like 15 months. I mean, how's he going to make the weight this weekend? I mean...
That's a factor.
That could well be a factor because seriously, he must struggle to make the weight. And he said himself about moving up after that fight, and now here he is again at 140.
Is there a rehydration clause in this, in this fight?
No,
there's no. This is WBO.
Again, I think the rehydration clause is a load of rubbish. If you make the weight, you should be able to rehydrate your body. Leaving someone to not be able to rehydrate, I think, is stupid, but that's a completely different argument. I think if he does manage to make the weight successfully, this is obviously... I have to give certain advantages if it goes the distance to Josh Taylor. Like you said, when it goes into the deep waters of the fight, there are question marks around Teofimo Lopez. I think the key for him, though, is to earn his respect early. Like you said, he does carry a lot of power. I think you guys are actually not being disrespectful, but you're discrediting some of the ferocity of Teofimo Lopez.
No, I'm not discrediting him at all.
If he does what George Kambosos did to him and just go in that first round, hit him with a big shot, earn his respect early, I think that's what he has to do. He has to get in close, like you said. He is shorter. I know the reach isn't that big of a difference. It's only a 1-inch reach for the 2-inch height. But I still think if Taylor's able to keep him at range, keep him at bay with the jab, use his footwork, which is slick footwork, and manage to keep him out, I think it could be a long night for him. But I think the early 3 or 4 rounds are going to be really telling.
I don't see Taylor doing that rangy stuff in this fight. He's already said he wants to smoke.
He's going to be.
He's going to be wound up.
Talk is talk, man. How many times have we seen people say, "I want a round 3 knockout"?
Josh Taylor always fights this way.
He's going to be in the pocket.
He's a very aggressive fighter. He's not going to be.
I know, but I'm saying that's a very dangerous game to play against Teofimo Lopez. It is. If you sit in the pocket with Teofimo Lopez, you are about to get banged.
Teofimo Lopez isn't battle hardened enough. He's not battle hardened enough.
Yeah, but he can.
But you guys are just.
Come on. People keep talking about this guy can crack. He can punch. He can punch for a lightweight. He's moving up a weight class, plus he's fighting a guy who can not only hit, but he hits as hard and definitely harder than the 2 dudes that dropped him.
I was going to say that.
Definitely harder.
No, but Jack Catterall dropped Josh Taylor legitimately.
He dropped Josh Taylor.
So if my argument is.
Regis didn't. Ramirez didn't.
Okay, fair enough. But what I'm saying is, on any given night, if Jack Catterall can drop Taylor, then as far as I'm concerned, Teofimo Lopez is capable of at least hurting him.
For sure. And we're saying that if the people that have dropped Teofimo, we're saying exactly the same thing back. So, and if he gets dropped by Josh Taylor, it will be a lot heavier-handed than the drops that he's had in the past.
And mentally, I know that Taylor's gonna get up and fight on.
Well, on that mental thing, feel free to disagree with me on this.
Already disagree.
But feel free to disagree. It goes without
saying that we disagree with most of what you say.
But with Teofimo Lopez, is this not a point where his stock can't get any lower in the eyes of the public? Is this not a no-lose situation for him? There's no way down for him really from this.
There is a way down.
There's nothing to lose. I don't really think there's much to lose for Teofimo Lopez.
He's still fighting elite-level fighters.
Literally.
Okay.
Yeah,
right.
but he wants to get back to the top. He wants to get to where he was.
Order. We're going to go to predictions. We're running out of time. Let's start with Shane.
I'm actually going to go... I'm going to go Josh Taylor by stoppage, 10th, 11th round stoppage. I think Teofimo is going to crumble. I think he's going to crumble. When it gets tough, he's going to crumble. Mentally, he ain't ready for this.
Okay, fair enough. We did say a similar thing about Ryan Garcia, and we were proved right. Nick Francis.
Taylor on points.
Taylor on points. Why?
Yeah. I just think he's got I think both guys are going to hit each other hard. Both have been dropped. They're going to not want to be dropped again. I think Josh Taylor has more ability to get off the canvas and show something.
You think Josh Taylor can get a decision over Teo in New York?
Yeah, I think he will outbox him clear.
Okay, well, you might have to do so in order to, because you know what they say about home fights.
No, because he beat Ramirez in Ramirez's hometown.
Yeah, but he did drop Ramirez a few times.
He can drop Teo. He dropped Teo.
No, listen, you're making some very salient arguments. Let's go to.
All right. This is what's going to happen very, very quickly. They start the fight. Teofimo Lopez is looking a little bit slow. Taylor's piecing him up. Round 1 and 2, he's coasting a little bit. Bang! Round 3, Teofimo Lopez out of nowhere. Flash, knockdown. Everything starts to get a little bit more exciting. All of a sudden, Lopez is growing into the fight. Body shot, head shot, body shot, sucking the life out of Josh Taylor. Round 8, flatlines him. Wow. Knocks him out.
You believe that, right?
No, round 9, sorry. Not round 8. Okay. Round 9.
Mind you, he has got a few predictions right recently.
Teofimo Lopez. No, I've got... Hey. I've got many a prediction right. The only one I got really badly wrong was the Ryan Garcia one. But anyone could have, in my position, fallen for Garcia's
Okay, I best take it out then. Right, I'll be very quick. My predictions, I see a well-contested, a very close fight. It could go either way. It might depend on how Josh Taylor makes away, because seriously, his last fight, he looked terrible on the scales. But I am going to go for a close points win for Taylor. I think he might even get hurt a couple of times, might even have to get off the floor. But I think he'll edge it out. As these guys are saying, he's mentally stronger, he's a bit more battle-hardened, and I think that could be the difference. Teofimo, again, his corner work, him and his dad, that dynamic is just terrible. I know he's riding for his dad and all that, but he definitely needs to get himself a new trainer if he's going to maximise his potential. But I do see a very good, entertaining fight, but I'm leaning ever so slightly towards Josh Taylor on points. Could even be a split decision, but yeah, Josh Taylor points. Okay, guys, thanks for watching. We come to the end now.
Watch it with us.
I was going to say we are going to do a stream on that fight. We'll all be available for that, right?
We'll be there watching. Teofimo Lopez gets his hand raised in victory.
So let's see, Josh Taylor stoppage, Teofimo stoppage. They're both saying rounds 9 and 10. No betting, but just tune in on Saturday.
Well, I don't know, man. You're not seeming very confident anymore.
Tune in on Saturday and see which one of these guys are going to be right.
When you tune in on Saturday, you are going to see one of the most devastating knockouts you will have seen in this decade. Well, no, we're not going to be in person, so Shane doesn't have to worry about that one.
Okay, guys, that's it. Don't forget to like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, keep it locked on DL Sports. Don't forget, we're covering the fight live in the early hours of Sunday morning. See you then. Take care. We're out.